Hi, and welcome to another video by Get It Done Home Repairs. Today we're going to be installing a towel bar right across the bottom over here. The one we're going to be installing is actually made by Moen. Not that I'm recommending Moen, that just happens to be the one that I picked up. As you can see, I took it out of the packaging already. I do have it on the floor here. I'm going to show you what comes in the package, what kind of tools you're going to need, and then we're going to go on there and we're going to get this job done. So let me bring it down. I'm going to show you what we have here. This is everything that comes in the package itself. We have actually the two ends, left and right ends. We have the bar right here which the towel hangs on. It comes with the two cleats that we need to mount on the wall. It comes with these special mollies to hold it in the wall. Very important that you use these as well because it'll hold it and it will not loosen up. Comes with the screws, and I'm sure you're looking at this saying, what the heck is this thing for? But you'll see what this is for. It's a very important tool here as well. And it comes with a small little Allen key, and that's needed to go up underneath here to actually attach the towel bar or the towel end to the cleat that we're mounting on the wall. All right, now one thing I did do, which I should have told you about, the level comes in the packaging as well, and we stuck it on there. We took the tape off and we stuck it onto the towel bar itself. And that's pretty much it. All right, so it does have the directions. As you can see, it has directions, but we're going to go through it step by step, and we're going to get this done. All right, but here's an example of what we're going to need. You may need a pencil, you may not. We're going to need a Phillips head screwdriver. We're going to need a drill, which also seconds as a screwdriver for me. Measuring device, a ruler, or whatever you have to measure. A hammer to tap the mollies in. And an assortment of drill bits such as this, so we can drill and mount these pieces in the wall. All right, so next thing we're going to do now is we're going to find out if there's any studs inside this wall. Oh, I forgot to tell you one more thing you're going to need too. We're going to need a stud finder if you have one. If you don't, I'll show you how to use it without a stud finder. So what we're going to do now is we're going to come up underneath here and we're going to locate where we want to put the towel bar here and here, and then we're going to check to see if there's a stud here. Now, judging by this, there's a vent right here. I don't know if we're going to hit a beam in this wall here. I doubt it, or a stud, and we'll have to see over here as well. All right, so let's get set up, figure out where we're going to put it, and let's get started. Okay, first thing we're going to do is we're going to locate where the studs are in the wall. So we're going to come over here with our stud finder like this, and then we'll just come across the wall, and we'll see where a stud. All right, so there's a stud right there. Okay, so it looks like the window is boxed out. Let's do it again. Stud. Okay, so most likely this window is boxed out where we're going to hit a 2x4 in the wall right here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to check it one more time just to make sure. And there's where the 2x4 starts. Okay, so most likely we're going to hit a 2x4 inside the wall right there, but we're not 100% sure. Now, if there is a 2x4, we screw it directly into a 2x4. We do not need these. But if the wall was hollow and there was nothing underneath it, then you would have to put these in. All right, so now what we're going to do is let's locate where we're going to be with the towel rack, and then we're going to put little marks on the wall, and then we're going to put a very small pilot hole to make sure we have a stud or some type of a wood, that we have some kind of a stud inside here we're going to screw it into. All right, so let me get my drill and let's get started. Okay, so we know where we want to mount the towel rack approximately. We want to come down about 1 inch. So we're going to put a very tiny mark right there. And we're going to put a very tiny mark right there. So we have a very close idea of where the towel bar is going to go. Next thing we're going to do now is we're going to take it and we'll bring it up to the approximate location of where we're going to make it, like this. All right, and that's where we're going to put it. Now let's just turn this so that this is even, like that. And now we're just going to move this until our level comes in to where it's supposed to be, in the center. And there you can see, that's the center where the towel bar is going to be mounted. And you can see the level right in the center there. I don't know if you can see that. I'll point it out. Right here where the bubble is right in the middle, that's that towel rack is now even. All right, so now we know where we're going to mount it. Let's put our cleats on the wall and we'll mark the holes and then we'll drill it. Okay. Now this particular one here, you see these pieces here? These are caps that are on there. We're going to just take that cap off right there. And we're going to push that cap off right there. They come up with a pretty good idea. They mounted a piece inside here, like that. And you can see that it has like a marker on it. All right, so now we're going to put this on the wall. We're going to push it and it'll mark the wall where it's going to be, where we have to drill. All right, so before we touch the wall, we're just going to bring it back there again. Again, make sure our bubble is exactly where we want it. Let me straighten it out. Okay. And now before we touch the wall, we're going to make sure that it's exactly where we want it. We're going to touch the wall there. We're going to touch the wall there. Just push it, and now we can take everything away. And you can see we have the perfect marks on the wall now where we're going to put our cleats to be mounted. All right, next thing we're going to do now is we don't know if there's a beam back behind here or not. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a 1/16 inch drill bit. We're going to take a 1/16 inch drill bit, and we're going to drill those holes very, very lightly so that when this goes through, it doesn't go in and damage the wall. All right, so let's do that. So we're going to drill very slowly now. And I can feel it. It is touching the beam. We're going to make the next hole here. Nice and slow. And again, I could feel it hitting the beam. We're going to drill the beam just a little bit. That way our screw has something to bite into. Now we're going to do the exact same thing on this side right over here. Put our drill on it very slowly. We're going to drill very slow because we don't know if there's a beam behind there, remember? Now there is a beam, I could feel it. We drill it just a little bit. Next thing we're going to do, drill our next hole. And again, there's a beam behind there. Okay. All right, so now we have the holes drilled where we're going to put these in. We are not going to use these because remember what I told you, these are only used if there's drywall and there's no beam behind it. If there was no beam behind it, we would drill the hole, which would be a 5/16 hole. We would then take this piece here, take it like this, put it this way, like that, push it in the hole, in the wall, push it in, and then you would take this tool right here, you would go on the end here, and this would be in the wall, and you would push it, and you see it pops back open, and this would be behind the wall now. But in this case, we're not using these because we are drilling directly into a beam. All right? So the next thing we're going to do now is we're going to take our mounting cleat, we're going to mount it, as it says here, up. We're just going to catch it by hand a little bit first, just like this. I'm going to stand up, just until you feel it touching into the wood in the back. Okay, and now we'll get our second one in as well. screw that in till we feel it hitting the wood. And we could feel it going into the wood. Now, if you have a regular screwdriver, you can continue, or if you have an electric screwdriver, you can use that. And the way you do that now is we're just going to screw it in just till it touches. Same thing here. Screw it down. Okay. You don't want to over tighten it. And that's our first cleat. Now we'll put our second cleat on the other wall, on the other side. Okay, check this one here. Okay. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to come up underneath the bottom right here and put this tool in here and just loosen this up just like that till it's almost all the way through, just like that. And we're going to take this off. We don't need this any longer. We're going to take this one and mount it on here like this, and you want to have your screw down in the bottom like that, so that way it's not visible up on top. Okay, and now we'll screw it back in. Okay, then we'll snug this one down till it's fairly tight. Just like that. And that's it, nice and tight. All right, next thing we're going to do now is we're going to come over here with this one here. We're going to also loosen up that screw right there. And we're going to take that piece off. These come in very handy, actually. This worked out really well because you didn't have to get in there and try and mark it with a pencil and have it exactly. It was a good idea that they came up with. And we'll take this out. And we have our screw backed out all the way now. And then this piece is going to mount on here. The only difference this time is we're going to take our towel bar like this, put it on here, like that. We're going to put this in here. And then we're going to put it on like this. And that will tighten up this other Allen key right here. Okay, now after you have this second side tight, we'll come over and make this one snug as well, and then this job will be all done. You don't want to over tighten these and strip them out, so you just want to make them until they're fairly snug. That's it. Towel bar's on. Now if you did your job correctly, everything will be nice and level and mounted to the studs just as it's supposed to be. All right, so that's it. This job is done. Towel rack is mounted up. Let's clean up our tools and we're on to the next one. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.